Okay, so this is R.A. Manard, and it's the weekly discourse. Normally it would have been at 7 o'clock Arizona. Right now it's a minute till 8 o'clock Arizona time. And I'm giving it a minute to see if people join up. So this is backyard, a little bit scenic for Arizona. Wow, Arizona tomorrow. That's great. So do you want to have lunch? I'm hoping that you can actually hear me. Not sure if she has her sound on. I guess I'll type it. Well, while I'm waiting for that, I guess I better speak, otherwise the video will be pretty darn boring. Basically, today the concept is sin and the gods, which kind of go together. Sin would be, by definition, having offended the gods in some way, an offense. And of course, from the Buddhist concept, there's really no sin because there's really not necessarily anybody to offend. Back when it was a tribal community, things that were a sin, that were wrong, were basically things that the chieftain said. And it evolved, and kings and clergy were separate, or whatever religious institution they had. And then the religious institution would give the rules, the sins, and the king would give the laws. So an offense to the king, an offense to the clergy. And when you think about sin, the thing is, if you're offending somebody, why are you offending somebody? So one of the gods this is. And you could think, well, I'm offending someone, so I should do it. And if I don't, then I'll get punished. But that's not really a motivation for building character or doing the right thing, being moral or ethical, because you're going to get punished, and you wouldn't want to be motivated by you're expecting some kind of reward. Those are not motivations for doing the right thing. You should do the right thing because it is the right thing. And how do we know it's the right thing? Because it's something that's good to do. How do we know it's the wrong thing? Well, it has negative results. It's a bad thing. It's bad for you, it's bad for other people. And if it's sin, then you're saying it's bad for God. But why would a God want you to do a particular thing? Well, either because I say so, which doesn't make much sense, or it's going to be bad for you, and the God actually cares for you and wants you to do the right thing. Well, if that's the case, why don't you do the right thing because it is the right thing? Avoid these bad things because they are bad things, and not worry about any reward for doing the right thing or punishment for doing the wrong thing, other than what you're going to get for doing the good thing or the bad thing, which makes a little more sense than convoluting it into punishment and reward. which once again are not good motivations. So if you're doing the right thing because it is the right thing, and you're not doing the wrong thing because it is the wrong thing, then you're doing things for motivations internally, which is far better than externally. And then you go towards the gods in the subject, and so far, I haven't had any gods show up for tea and want to negotiate with me what they think is right and wrong. However, a person could argue that the universe is a designed thing, and that as we go through life, the universe tells us what it wants. For instance, lying. The universe doesn't seem to want us to lie, and we can test that and we can prove it in life, because we find that lies separate us from other people. They make us less powerful instead of more powerful. We don't have a lesser impact. People don't necessarily believe what we say, and it holds us down. The opposite, of course, would be lifting us up and making us more powerful and bringing us together. And the truth does this. It can separate things. The truth can. I guess we shouldn't go towards truth. Really, this was supposed to be about sin and the gods. So I'll keep it more towards the negative aspects, to doing the bad thing. And so we can test that the universe doesn't want us to tell lies. We can prove it. We can practice it in life, and we find that it's actually wise. It's productive. It's good for everybody. This concept that the universe doesn't want us to lie. In life, when we do practice this, we're going to find that people can't remember their own lies. It's pretty much universal. Even the best liar messes up. And then people, that's good to see you too, responding to a person that's typing there. Anyway, we can see that people do catch us in our lies, and we must realize that they catch us in our lies and they don't tell us. And then this separates us, because they think, well, this person really does lie to me. I know it now, and so anything they say might or might not be a lie. And as these lies pile up, they think you care less about them. They can rationalize lying to you much easier now, because they know that you lie to them. So you get a relationship that has basically lies thrown in every once in a while, or quite often, and this will separate you. You're going to have a lesser impact. Anything you say might or might not be a lie to them, and you're going to feel hurt sometimes though when they lie to you. It's definitely going to separate you. So it's a bad thing. We should not do it because it is a bad thing. And the reward is certainly better relationships and a better life. The punishment would be, like I said, the separation, the being less powerful, held down. Now, when people know that you talk the truth, that you don't lie, you have a much better impact. People know that you're sincere. Let's move back to the gods for a moment here. People say, well, the gods want you to do these things or avoid these things because they care. That you should do good things because it's better for you, and bad things because it's worse for you. And once again, we should go ahead and do those things because they are the right things to do, and avoid the wrong things because they are the wrong thing to do. But you do also have that reward and punishment within the universe that you can go ahead and verify for yourself, that the universe wants this or doesn't want that. And you can do that with all kinds of concepts that are universal truth. We can all test them the same. We get the same result with the same testing methods. And then when we practice in life, we all find that they're wise, they're productive, and they're good for everybody. And in that, we can build a framework of behavior that is based on what the truth is instead of based on what a book might say or what a religion might say. Not to say that those books or those religions are bad, just that you want to have a correct motivation for doing what you do. And the reason for that is why you do things is even more important than the things that you do. Because the things that you do, they come and they go. They're a momentary thing, they pass. They do stack up, believe me, but why you do things stays with you. That's something you carry with you and you deal with it internally. And some people have basically a living hell that they've built up as they go through life, adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, more and more separation, more and more anxiety, sadness, anger, because they've built up these things that are punishing them. And they can't figure out how to get rid of them. They just feel like life is some kind of a living hell they can't escape from. And we want the opposite, of course. We want to build it up as a great thing that we enjoy. And the only way we're going to do that is if we honestly, we sincerely are doing these things which build up and stay with us in a good way. And I don't know if everybody has been here since I started, so why don't we open up to some questions about Buddhist perspective of sin and the gods, if anybody has any. Once again, this is the backyard, and it's getting a little dim. Normally I would have started at 7 p.m. I started at 8 p.m. Arizona time. Normally you'd see some rich colors there. So if you have any questions, just type it in there. Questions, comments, concerns, sin and the gods being the topic. I'll let you enjoy the evening dim scenery there for a moment while people contemplate if they'd like to chime in. All right, I don't think anybody's making comments, so that's fine. Anyway, this was Weekly Truth Talk. The topic was sin and the gods, and we covered that. And I don't have any way for much of a talk other than like about 15 minutes. These talks are spontaneous. I don't script anything or write anything down or have any reference. Just a spontaneous thing. I think when you talk to people, it probably should be that way. I know it's pretty slick to go ahead and put everything on a storyboard and have a script and a teleprompter, and to put your face in front of the camera. But quite honestly, I've seen people doing that, and it doesn't look good. It looks like they're trying to make themselves self-important, putting the camera in their face, like everybody wants to see them in the first place. And it seems a little negative, so I went with the backyard as a nice backdrop here. There are many different angles in my backyard that look really nice. At this time, of course, this is not one of them. Anyway, I want to thank everybody for showing up, and I hope you enjoyed this, and of course people on the internet can play it back. All right, this is R.A. Manard, Mitrava. Have a nice night.